Last time on the poker vlog.
But on to our first hand. We're looking down at first class pocket rockets, and we raise it up from the cutoff to 20 bucks. I don't want the action to check through again on the river, so I need to consider a bet sizing that possibly just a queen will call. I already removed a flush draw from his range, given I have the nut spade blocker.
Good call.
All right, so moving on to number 2, fishy hands that you must stop playing is 6-4. Let's face it, it's a nice hand, it's pretty. It looks like something that has a lot of possibilities, a lot of people want.
Nice, has a lot of potential, good to look at. A lot of people want to play it. Hey, I think Nathan over at Black Rain is talking about me. Just kidding, guys. I'm Chuck, Happy Face Holdem. Welcome back to another episode. You'll understand why I played that clip here in just a second. We play a monster hand down at the Hustler Casino with our favorite hand, 6-4 suited, that we rock on our Happy Face Holdem merchandise. And you can get yours over at happyfaceholdem.com. Go check it out. Support your vloggers, including myself. I really appreciate the support on the channel. Hey, 2 quick announcements. We have an upcoming meetup game at Hustler Casino January 9th. It's the West Coast Poker Vloggers Meetup. January 9th, noon to 6 p.m. It's a 2-3 No Limit Holdem game with a $100 to $500 buy-in cap. We hope to see you out there. Sign up on Poker Atlas today. Reserve your seat. We're hoping to book 10 tables or more, so help us get to our goal. All 5 of us are looking forward to meeting a bunch of you. And we have an upcoming charity poker fundraiser event January 22nd out here in the town I live in, Simi Valley. And as you know, if you've ever been to Simi Valley, we have a huge ass happy face mode right into the side of the hill, and that's why this channel is called Happy Face Holdem. It's a charity event supporting the local high school baseball booster club. It's going to be a $65 buy-in for a tournament. There's some great prizes at the end, but all the information's down in the description below. There's a link to buy a ticket. And at the end of this video, we're close to the end of this video, we are doing a giveaway, so be sure to stay tuned to catch that. All right, guys, that's it for now. Let's get right into some hands.
We're at Hustler Casino today to play some poker. The game of choice, 2-5 No Limit Holdem. Let's go. Being dealt our favorite hand in literally the first hand of this new game that just started. It must be a sign of good things to come. So from the hijack, we raise it up to $15 and the small blind calls. Heads up to see an ace-10-5 two-spade flop. We have nothing but some backdoor draws and $285 behind after starting the session with the max 300 buy-in. So we're happy to check back behind the small blind after he plays in flow. But quickly forgetting we were the pre-flop aggressor. We should be c-betting this board pretty often, but I'm okay with a check back seeing as how coordinated it is. We gained some equity with the 3 of clubs improving to an open-ended straight flush draw. So after the small blind checks a second time, we're ready to put some money into this pot and put out a bet of $20, and the small blind calls fairly quickly. Off to see the 2 of clubs on the river with $75 in the pot, and holy crap, we just banked a straight flush. Interesting that the small blind reached for chips in an excited manner, then stopped and ultimately decided to check after a second of thought. He had been telling the lady to his left that he was on a heater last night and operating on little sleep today. Because I bet the turn, maybe he has a flush and wants me to do the bidding, or perhaps he thought better of bluffing and trying to rep a flush, or perhaps just has bricked a front door spade draw. Hoping it's the former of all options, I polarize here with a bet of $70. I like the idea of over betting the river too. What do you do when you have the stone cold nuts? Let me know in the comments section what you think of this particular bet given the strength of our hand. Let's listen in.
You got a flush, you're good.
He calls. A little better than a flush.
Is that a straight flush? Oh, shit. First hand. Nice one. Oh, and a set.
It was supposed to be deuce, it's going to be a jackpot.
Oh, dealer, why do you rub that in? Now looking down an ace-queen offsuit from the cutoff, we open the action to $20 after the hijack limped in, and still super excited about winning again with 6-4 suited on the vlog. And it's only 12:20 in the afternoon on a Saturday. We're just getting started, and we're going to do a 6-4 suited giveaway in just a little bit, so stay tuned. The small blind makes the call for 13 more, and the hijack says he wants to gamble and adds 15 to his limp, making the call. We're 6-handed currently with 400 in our stack, going 3 ways to a flop with $65 in the middle. The flop comes Jack 3-8 with 2 clubs. I check behind everyone else and double check that I have an ace of clubs. And we see the ace of hearts hit the table on the turn, giving us top pair, the nut club draw blocker, along with a good kicker. When the action checks to me, like many players wanting crypto, I'm going to invest into this pot, another $25. Possibly a larger sizing is a better play to charge for flush draws, but with the blocker, I'm really targeting a weaker ace or a sticky jack holding with this bet sizing. The small blind gets out of the way, and the hijack wants to see one more card and makes the call, building this pot to $115. We get the 5 of diamonds on the river, which really doesn't change much. Sure, deuce 4 makes a straight, but deuce 4 should have folded out pre. So when the hijack checks to me, I'm going to target the same hands as I did on the turn, and I bet $40, and he quickly makes the call. I roll over the ace queen, and his hand quickly hits the muck. We scoop, tip our dealer, and move along. We're now on the button with 3 limpers ahead of us and peel back ace deuce suited of the heart variety, and open the action to a bet sizing of $30. The action slowly makes its way around this table, and like the origami business Fish Poker used to run, they all folded. But the hijack makes the call, giving us a little action heads up with $75 in the pot. Bang! We hit our pair. The hijack checks to us, and we c-bet bottom pair, top kicker for $30. Really not because we have bottom pair, but we have all the queens in our range, but you knew that. And the hijack, he lets his hand go. Now with $5.50 in our stack in the cutoff, we look down at pocket 3s, and with no action ahead of us, we open to $15. The big blind, he's going to be our only opponent willing to call, and we'll see a flop heads up with just him, which really is quite unusual in my LA poker playing experience. Can we run any hotter today? We smash this flop hitting bottom set on an 8-3 queen, and the big blind checks to us. I go for a c-bet of 15, but with the flush draw out there, I think 25 would be better, and charge the max for a flush draw or top pair holding. But he folds, and sadly, we don't get any additional value from our set. Not on this one. On the button with 3 limpers ahead of us, jamming to the great music that the Hustler Casino is always rocking, we look at King-Queen offsuit with $6.35 in our stack. We raised to $30 like we did last time we were in the same spot. We get more origami-like folding before the hijack makes the call, and again, we'll be heads up against this guy with $75 in the pot. This time the flop is not all that great. Deuce 4-8 rainbow. So when the hijack checks to me, I think this is a clear board to check back on, but I c-bet it, taking advantage of my winning table image for $30. And funny enough, that's going to be enough to scoop this one up. It's an easy game sometimes. Raise pre, c-bet post, win. In this next hand, we're sitting in under the gun with $6.50 in our stack and look down at 1 queen, then a 2nd queen. Hello, ladies in red. What should we do? Of course, we should raise. All right, let's try and get a pot brewing and open to $25. Somewhat forking my range as 15 has been a standard open and 30 with limpers ahead of me. But I'm justifying 25 because I'm in early position. Plus 2 likes what he has and makes the call, and the small blind is getting a good enough price to see a flop with his hand and makes the call. So guess what happens to the big blind? Of course, he makes the call, and we'll be playing 4 ways in our largest pot of the day, pre-flop. A flop a bit undesirable comes out with 9, 10, ace, 2 hearts, and 1 over to our pair, and I check as the waitress delivers my black coffee. Plus 2 makes a huge bet of $80. Although I think a fold is the best option, if I didn't hold the queen of hearts, I could put him on more flush draws, so with this blocker, it's more likely he has an ace. I also double block the big end of the straight draw, which weights me even more to thinking he has an ace. But I'm only human, distracted by the waitress, and in the moment, I elected on a call. With $2.60 in the pot, we're going to go to a turn, and we see the 9 of diamonds, pairing the board, and this time I have to check. Although we improved to 2 pair, he is still ahead if he has an ace. If he was betting bottom 2 on the flop, he just filled up, and I'm in worse shape now, or at least in no better shape than I was on the flop. But I am in better shape than I was 2 years ago. He has $55 behind and puts it all in, laying me 6 3/4 to 1 to call, so that's what I do. As I say out loud, I'm pretty sure you got it. Hoping for only a queen, we get nothing close to it in the 7 of clubs. He flashes an ace, and $370 is pushed away from us. In the next hand, down to 410 in our stack, sitting in under the gun, I open the pot to $20 after looking down at Queen Jack suited. The hijack makes the call, and the button quickly calls behind. 3 ways with $75 in, the hijack just lost a big hand, which was the first he played, and is starting with about $100. Kind of like vodka, we flop absolute gin with King 3-10, all spades. Flopping the second nuts and a royal draw, I put in a c-bet of $35, knowing most people won't believe I flopped a flush after raising pre, and any ace of spade holding will likely continue. Betting smaller lets any king float at least one street as well. The hijack answers my bet with an all-in jam of $75. The button folds, and we call and flip over our hand, indicating we're pretty confident we have the winner. And honestly, wanting everyone to enjoy seeing a royal flush when we get there. No improvement to a royal on the turn or the river, but still the winner nonetheless. We scoop this pot, and the hijack heads off for the ATM machine that sits just a few tables over. Happy to be back up to 485 with 2 limps ahead of us. We see Jack 7 suited in the cutoff and decide to over-limp this speculative hand. Very few hands I put in a limping range these days, but this feels like a good candidate. No raise happens, and we go 3 ways to a flop with 15 in the middle. Not a bad flop drilling top pair and a flush draw. When the action checks to me, let's bet pot. The player in +2, well, he decides to make the call, and we build this pot to $45 going heads up to the turn. This kid was having a rough day. Unlike Shohei Ohtani, he couldn't hit anything. Takes no time at all to make our flush when the 10 of diamonds peels off, and I elect to wager $25, and he snaps off his remaining 48, and I call.
Just the flush.
I haven't.
Wow. It's going to be one of those days.
Yep, one of those days. Sorry, kid. As he shows 9 5 of diamonds. Let's scoop another one, and let's keep the run good going. It's a great time to smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell if you haven't already. And don't forget our giveaway's coming up. Thank you. 3 limpers, we look down at Jack 10 offsuit and decide from the small blind to just check our option and see a free flop. So 4 ways to 9 7 Jack rainbow with $20 in the pot. I decide to lead out for $15 on this board, figuring I have the best hand, and our friend who's having a bad day, guess what? He makes the call one more time. The 4 of diamond looks like a brick to me, so I lead out for another 35, wanting to keep all weaker jacks in the hand. Our friend raises to $70. Weird time to raise. Maybe a set of 4s? But honestly, he's likely overvaluing a weaker jack, and he is a little frustrated. So given that this was a limped pot and he's tilted, that leans me to making the call. What do you think about a re-raise here? Should I be re-raising or just flatting? The river comes off the 9 of hearts, pairing the board. I check, and he weirdly bets $100 of his 150 behind. This was a strange pickup and put in of 1 stack of yellow chips. Feels like frustration. So I make the call.
This is Jack.
What's your kicker?
Bad. Nice hand.
Thanks, sir.
Our 10 kicker is better than his, and we'll be scooping another pot.
All right, guys, I promised you a giveaway today, and here's what it is. 6-4 suited, playing my favorite hand. I want to see you playing my favorite hand. This is what you have to do. Go follow me on Instagram, Happy Face Holdem on Instagram. Post to your story or to your feed, doesn't matter, a story about you playing 6-4 suited. Whether you win or lose doesn't matter. I just want to hear about it. I want to hear the story. Be sure you tag me in your story or your post, and I'm going to pick my favorite story. Maybe 2 or maybe even 3. And I'm going to give away some Charlie card protectors, those things you see in my video covering my cards. I'm going to send one out to you at no charge and probably throw out some stickers there as well. We got some cool stickers with the Happy Face logo on it, with the rocking the 6-4 suited. You can put it on your car, your laptop, your coffee mug, the back of your phone, or just carry it around in your wallet, whatever you want to do. Post to Instagram, make sure you follow me and tag me in it. I'm going to pick my favorite story as the winner and send you out a prize. Let's get back into it.
I'm in the small blind with 830 in my stack and called a straddle for $10 with 3 others in the hand and get a 7 Jack 2 heart flop. All things considered, I should have squeezed with this hand pre from the small blind, but not a bad flop considering we hold the 3rd Jack with the best possible kicker. A board I should be leading on 100% of the time, but I check and the action checks through. These 2 missteps get me in trouble as the turn comes off the 8 of spades. I check again. Now, in the moment, mind you, I felt I had the board completely locked up outside possibly a flush draw coming in, The cutoff elects to toss $25 at this pot, and again, in the moment, this is what I was waiting for as I proceed to check raise to 75. The cutoff does take a moment or two to think about this. This was a limp pot, so ranges were pretty uncapped until this spot. I'm fully repping a jack or a big flush draw, and he decides to make the call. I think we're both pretty capped now at a jack or a flush draw. When the river peels off the 4 of clubs, I'm convinced my jack is better than his, and I go for some value here with a bet of $60, a little under 1/3 pot, and the cutoff this time makes his decision much quicker than when I check raised, so I'm happy with my bet sizing when I get called pretty quickly and eagerly turn over the trips with top kicker for the winner. Or not. He shows 9-10 for a turn straight. All right, we decide to rack up and book the win.
Next time on Happy Face Holdem.
We drill a queen high flush. Are we slow rolled or do we hold the nuts? We get it all in with ace 5 suited and flop the nut flush draw. Can we bank it? We flop the world. Is there any value to be had on a flop like this?
All right, guys, we just wrapped up the session down here at the Hustler Casino playing 2-5 No Limit Holdem. Played for a few hours. I'm going to put all the numbers right here. Profited about $400. I don't offhand know all the numbers, but I will definitely calculate them, and they're all right there for you so you know how I did. Hey, guys, I appreciate you being here. It was a great session. Hustler's always a great time, so be sure to come down and check it out when you're in the LA area. And until next time, guys, don't forget, wash your hands.